ghetto. Can somebody get the etymology of the word ghetto for me? Somebody get the etymology of the word ghetto, right? Baba Kasha, right? So we have something called a ghetto in every single city, right? Now in these ghettos, what nationality or what nations of people live there in the ghettos predominantly? Right, you got the blacks and Hispanics. I think the largest gang in Chicago is actually Hispanics, right? So you got us warring against each other. Brown on brown crime, black on brown crime, and so-called black on black crime, right? Let's read this.
Been battling with these demons, yeah, I'm supposed to fight. I'm trying to see what it's like, take me, so I roll the dice. Look up to no one else, but yeah, I was shy. I got real power, Hebrew Israelite.
From the Bible, right? But how come nobody calls themselves that today? Because these are nationalities. These are tribes that come from the nation of Israel. One of the 18 nations that God created. Turn that sign around right there.
Take a fire.
One of the 18 nations that God created, and that's not just any nation, right? Give me the book of 1 Chronicles chapter 13 and verse 16, right? We're going to show you who the Israelites are, because God, he created all the nations, right? He made you, he made me, he made your mother, right? Give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse number 7. Right, bring this up.
The book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 16 and verse 13. Oh, ye seed of Israel.
Oh, who?
Oh, ye seed of Israel.
Oh, ye seed of Israel. What is a seed, brother? If I say this is, if I had a child, I say this is my seed. What am I trying to say? Yeah, this is a descendant of me, right? We are the seed of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We're going to prove that today, right? Because what do they call you in this world? They call you black, African American, right? They call you a Negro. They might call you a nigga, right? And this is the names that's been placed on our people by who? We out here to call out the truth, brother. That's what we came out here to do, to proclaim the truth and speak the truth to our neighbor, because that's what we was commanded to do. We've been living in lies way too long to not tell the truth. We've been getting stomped out and oppressed way too long to not tell the truth. So who's gonna come out here and stand up for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Keep reading.
Oh, ye seed of Israel, his servants.
His who?
His servants.
His niggas.
His servants.
His servants. Read on.
Ye children of Jacob, his chosen one.
His what?
His chosen one.
His chosen ones. One nation out of 18. God chose one. Let's read this.
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations.
Do what?
Consider the years of many generations.
That's what we're asking our people to do when they come out here. Consider your forefathers. We ask our people, what's their history? What's your nationality? What's your heritage? What land do you come from, right? What language did you used to speak before they beat English into you, right? What is the customs of so-called black people? Is it just smoking weed, getting drunk, game banging, trapping, right? Pouring out our women, becoming a rapper, becoming an athlete, becoming an entertainer? Is that our heritage? I hope not either, right? But we got the true heritage of the so-called blacks and Hispanic men. We're gonna show you right now. Keep reading.
Ask thy fathers, and he will show them. Thy elders, and they will tell them. When the Most High divided to the nation.
What did the Most High do?
When the Most High divided to the nations.
All the nations you see right there, the Most High, he divided them. Now, what do they tell us in the church? God loves everybody. Everybody needs to be one people. That's what they teach here in America. That's called Catholicism, right? They beat that into our people, right? 1492, the Conquistador Conquest. 1619, the transatlantic slave trade, right? We're tired of all these lies and deceit. Read on.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Of who?
Of Israel.
Right, of the children of Israel. So the Lord, he separated us from all the other nations, meaning he made us holy. We're the only nation who's holy on this earth. What does it mean to be holy? To be set apart. Who sets themselves apart from everybody else more than the so-called black man? No matter how much they try to oppress you, no matter how much they try to shut us up, no matter how much they try to put this image on us that's evil and wicked, who sets themselves apart still? When we set our minds to do the things that we want to do, nothing can stop us. Literally, nothing can stop us. Who could literally come up against us on a court? in the ring, boxing, right? On the field, anywhere, in business. When we put our mind to business, we got black men becoming billionaires in one day. But guess what the so-called white man does? He finds out they became billionaires in one day, and just like that, in one day, they take it away from them. Because they know what that's going to do to our community. It's going to build us up. We're going to start investing in ourselves, right? We're going to start to realize, hey, we got an opportunity now.
That's right.
They don't want you to think that, though. They want you to remember that you're always going to be a slave here in America. But there's a reason why we've been here. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 26, right? We're going to show you exactly the judgments of God and why we love them so much, right? And why you should too, right? Let's bring this out. Deuteronomy chapter 11 verse 26.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 11 verse 26. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
Right, this day, today, right? As you stand here before your brothers, God has set before you a what?
A blessing and a curse. A blessing if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God.
A blessing of what?
If you obey the commandments of the Lord your God.
So we're going to be blessed if we do what? Obey his commandments. Pretty simple, right? We got to obey what he says. Just like your father, your mother, right? When you was growing up, they tell you to do something, you show that you love them by obeying them, what they say, right? But if they tell you not to do this, not to do that, I done told my son to clean his room, wash the dishes. Those things aren't hard, but he still won't do it, right? His dishes piling up in the kitchen, his bugs all up in the house, his room smells like sweats, right? Sweats. We don't want to say it. We don't want to get too deep, but it smells like feet and booty in there. You know?
If you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day, and a curse if you will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God,
and a punishment, a curse, if we don't what? If we don't obey the commandments, though, specifically, right? So you kind of catching, or you picking up what we're putting down right now, right? You have blessings, you have curses, you have life, and you have death. Our people, we kind of have a choice, right? So let's read this. Let's see what our forefathers did. Let's see, how do we end up here in America without our heritage, being oppressed, being in slavery? How do we go through all these atrocities and nothing happened? How? How did the greatest people on earth, God's chosen people, go through slavery? How did these other nations be able to take us down? How did that lady right there be able to take your forefather down, your foremothers? And we were physically better than them. We're mentally better than them in all aspects. Only thing that makes them better is that they set themselves above us, but God really did that. We're going to show you. Right? Bring this out. 15. Deuteronomy 45. Go to verse 45.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
Till what?
Till thou be destroyed.
Right?
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Hearken means to listen. Thou hearkenest not. You don't listen to God. Our people don't want to listen to God. We don't.
Thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments.
To what?
To keep his commandments.
Right? We go through the curses because, like you said, we don't obey God's commandments. We don't.
And statutes which he commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
For a what?
For a sign and for a wonder.
For a sign and a wonder of what?
And upon thy seed forever.
Upon thy what?
And upon thy seed forever.
Upon thy seed. We just talked about that. What's your seed? Your descendants after you, right? Your children and your children's children. So, with that being said, the curses will be upon the Israelites. Whoever the God's chosen people are, right? They will have the curses on them. And that's going to be a sign and a wonder to identify who's the chosen people of today. Who are the Israelites today?
Right.
Meaning, when you turn around right now, you got to look at all these nations.
Right.
You got to say who fits the curses, who is being punished for not obeying God to this day. Who's getting the punishments? Does it look like the so-called white man's being punished right now? He's sitting on top of everybody, having everybody pay taxes to him. He's writing all these wicked laws and decrees, right? So let's read on. Go to verse 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
What's the first curse?
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
The first curse is that the Israelites, for not obeying God's commandments, for not keeping his law, right? They will be cursed in every city in the world.
Right.
Now, what does it look like to be cursed in a city? Lost, right? You may not know who you are. You may be selling drugs, gang banging, right? You're at the bottom of society. In every city, you have something called the ghetto. Can somebody get the etymology of the word ghetto for me? Somebody get the etymology of the word ghetto, right? Baba Kasha, right? So we have something called a ghetto in every single city, right? Now, in these ghettos, what nationality or what nations of people live there in the ghettos predominantly? Right, you got the blacks and Hispanics. I think the largest gang in Chicago is actually Hispanics, right? So you got us warring against each other. Brown on brown crime, black on brown crime, and so-called black on black crime, right? Let's read this.
It's the etymology of the word ghetto.
Right, the origin of this word is what?
A part of a city in which Jews are compelled to live.
Read that again.
A part of the city in which Jews are compelled to live.
Now, if the Jews dwell in ghettos, right, and the Jews in Israel, right now, they call them, they actually don't say Jews, they say Jewish, right? Because Jewish means to be acting like a Jew.
Right.
That's like if I called you girlish or boyish or something, right? You're not really a girl, you just acting like a girl, right? So they like to take on that because in 1948, during the Balfour Declaration, they took on that land and they stole your land and your heritage.
Right.
And what did they place on you? A color, black. Two different continents to confuse you of where you're from. A continent isn't even a country. They get to claim their country. They get to say, I'm from Ireland, I'm from this place, I'm from that place. But you're just a slave here in America. You're just a black man. You're just a color, right? You're just two different continents. So when you go into the word ghetto, it's spiritual because the Jews would be in the ghetto. Who are the real Jews today? Come on, man. You heard this before? Right? Go to Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. Give me the book of Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. Right? We're going to show you who the real Jews are. Out of the Bible. Because where do you read about the history of the Jews? In the Holy Bible. It's the only place. Right? Starting from the Torah, all the way to the Apocrypha, all the way to Revelation in the New Testament. You read about the Jews. Right? Let's read this.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 of verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof language.
Judah mourning. In order to be a Jew, you have to come from the tribe of Judah. Jew is just short for Judah, right? That's one of the 12 sons of the progenitor of our forefather, whose name is Israel, right? We come from these men, right? Over here on your right-hand side. So read on.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof language. They are black.
They are what?
They are black.
What are the real Jews?
They are black.
The real Jews, the Bible says what? They are black. That's plain. Everything in this Bible, there's no private interpretation, right? Everything is made real plain, but what do we lack in our communities? Scholarship, knowledge, reading. We don't even want to pick up a book, right? We'll rather watch the movie, the plagiarized and fake version that the so-called white man wants to paint for us. We'll rather watch the movie than read the straight-up accounts of our forefathers, the real truth, right? Instead of sitting there and listening to the pastor give his dogma and speak out of his own mouth the whole time, not reading no Bible verses, not proving a damn thing he's saying, right? We came up here to show you the truth, brother. That the real Jews, they're black onto the ground. Bring this up. Now, who's the most famous Jew on the earth? Ever to live. Yeah, ever. How about this? Hold on. Who is the most famous man ever? Not even just Jew, the most famous man ever to live to this day. People still talk about him. Yeah, you're in a hot seat right now, brother. The most famous man on the earth that people still talk about to this day for thousands of years, for over 1,000 years, not God, Jesus. Jesus and God, they're two different entities. Right? Jesus is the Son of God. Right? We could prove that too out of the scripture. That goes back to the Trinity doctrine. right? These are doctrines that they brought over here in 1619 and 1492. The so-called Spaniards, the French, the British, right? They came over here and they beat those religions into us.
Right.
Do your history. These religions go back to men and these certain dates where they created these things, these lies for us, right? So they beat white Jesus into us. They beat Christianity into us.
Right.
They beat Catholicism into
Right.
us. Look at the images right here. Right, let's turn this around real quick. Right, let's look at these images. You got crosses, right? You got crosses that they brought to our people, right? You have certain images and certain doctrines that they brought to deceive our people,
Right.
right? But the most famous man on the earth, a Jew, an Israelite, which means he would have to come from the tribe of Judah,
Right.
from the nation of Israel,
Right.
right? Let's bring this up.
Revelations chapter 1 verse 14.
Bring it out.
His head and his hair were white like wool.
His what?
His head and his hair were white like wool.
This is describing who Jesus Christ and what he looks like, right? Because a lot of people were around him. You had the 12 disciples. You had people thronging him, meaning that there was people surrounding him, right? So people seen this man. He wasn't just a puff of smoke, an invisible man walking around,
Right.
a cloud of light, right? He was a literal man in the flesh walking on the earth. Give me the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 1. Keep reading.
As white as snow.
What?
As white as snow.
Read.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Right, so Jesus Christ has said that he has white woolly hair and red eyes. Now we have the image, right, of what they gave us right here, right? Now, does this man have woolly hair? Who has woolly hair on the earth, brother? Come on. Yeah, well, that's what they call us, right? But you're coming to find out that we're actually the Israelites.
Right.
And that we fit the curses and the punishments. We're going through the punishments for not keeping God's commandments.
Right.
But we're explaining to you, why we're so special too. Not just because we're Israelites, God chose us, but think about it. You literally descend from this, not this man, but more than likely this man. This is a more accurate image. He has woolly hair. He has eyes as a flame of fire. Read on.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
And his feet like unto fine brass, right? So meaning his skin tone was like fine brass. What color is brass? Yeah, it's like a penny almost, right? It's got like that brown color, right? Read on.
As if they burned in a furnace.
They what?
As if they burned in a furnace.
Right, so Christ, he was so dark as if he burned in a furnace,
Right.
right? His skin was like fine brass, brown, but if I took that penny, I threw it in the oven,
Right.
just like I told a brother yesterday, I'm like, if you had some bread, you left it in the toaster too long, what's gonna happen? Yeah, you're gonna get some burnt toast, right? So Christ, more than likely, he would fit the image that you see on your left-hand side right there. A dark-skinned man, right, with skin like fine brass as if it burned in a furnace, with white woolly hair and fiery red eyes, right? This is the image of your true Lord and Savior. But they don't want you to know, because if black people found out that Christ looks like them, that they descend from Christ, there'll be an uproar in these ghettos. We will start coming back to the true knowledge of the Most High. So that's why we came out here, to wake our people up. Now, what did I call earlier? 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1. Bring it up.
1 Peter chapter 4 and verse number 1. For as much then as Christ has suffered for us.
Christ what?
As Christ has suffered for us.
Christ has suffered for us, Lord.
In the flesh.
In the what?
In the flesh.
In the what?
In the flesh.
Right, he was in the flesh, right? Just like me and you. All the pain that you feel, the mental battles that you go through every single day, the doubts that come in your mind, right? The questions that you may have, Christ was going through these things. The lust of the flesh, right? All these spirits and demons, drugs around you, right? There's nothing but wickedness in our communities. We can't get away. The so-called white man, he could go outside, sit on the bench in his neighborhood, and nobody's gonna bother him. No one's gonna call the police. No, nobody's gonna even ask him if he needs help, because they know he's good. They know he's straight. Read on.
In the flesh. Arm yourselves likewise with the same mind.
Do what?
Arm yourselves likewise with the same mind.
Right. We gotta have the same mind as our Lord.
Right.
What is our mind on now?
Folly.
Wickedness.
Right.
Right? How to do the next wicked thing. Give me the book
Right.
of Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 22. And go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28. You give me Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 22. You give me Deuteronomy 28. right? Because we want to break down these curses so we can show you that it's evident, meaning that it's obvious 100% who the Israelites are today. Because only one nation is going to fit the punishments of God. Only one nation is going to go through these curses. It was prophesied, and it's happening today. Bring this out.
Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me.
My people is foolish. The Lord is telling us, say, hey man, my so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Israelites of the Bible, right? They have become foolish. They don't know the Lord anymore. They don't even know who their God is. Right? You praying to white Jesus. You praying to a God that don't even look like you.
They are Sodom's children.
They are what?
They are Sodom's children. And they have none understanding.
They have what?
They have none understanding.
They don't have any understanding because our understanding is the commandments of God, which we fell away from, which we disobeyed. Meaning that we gave away our understanding.
Gave it away, bro.
Right? Keep reading.
They are wise to do evil.
They are what?
They are wise to do evil.
What are people doing?
They are wise to do evil.
What is selling drugs?
They are wise to do evil.
What is gangbanging?
They are wise to do evil.
What is scamming?
They are wise to do evil.
What is prostitution?
They are wise to do evil.
They are wise to do evil, read on.
But to do good, they have no knowledge.
But to do what?
But to do good, they have no knowledge.
To do good, we don't have any knowledge of that.
Right.
We're about to give you the knowledge right now of what's really good.
Right.
Give me the book of Romans chapter 7 verse 12 and bring this
Bring it
up.
out.
28 and go to verse 16 again.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse number 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Right back to the first curse. We know who's cursing the cities now, but who is cursing the fields? Right? Who is picking cotton, strawberries, sugar cane, whips on their back for 22 hours a day? Right? Right? 22 hours a day you got them whips on your back, right? You got them telling you better keep working, better keep it up, boy, right? Or else, God forbid something gonna happen to your children, right? They broke our men, they raped our women, right? They tortured our children, right? And here we are now, this is the result today.
Right.
If I take a nation of people, I put them into slavery, and for 100 years, I never let you read a book, I never let you teach your children, I never let you know where you came from or who you are, guess what's gonna happen? That they're gonna have their children, the next generation, they're gonna grow up not knowing nothing. Because they growing up under their slave master. You think a slave master wants you to know who you are? Wants you to know who your God is so you could call upon him to destroy your enemies? The slave master don't want that. Let's keep reading. Go to verse 54. Right, so that's the first curse that the Israelites will go through. The first punishment for not keeping God's commandments is to be cursing the city and cursing the field.
Right.
We experience that every single day. Let's read it.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
Right, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother. This is another curse, right? We used to be tender and delicate towards each other. But now what do? Right? If I don't know the commandments, guess what? I see you, you from that side of the block, I'm from this side of the block. You from that town, I'm from this town. You from 63rd, I'm from 71st, right? Or I'm from 79th, right? And all these different blocks that we don't even own, but we game banging on them. Right. And you know this, right? Our people kind of know this too, but where's the better way, right? Where are we going to turn to? Where are we going to go?
Right.
What land could we go to? What heritage could we cling on to?
Right.
This is our hope, man. This is our salvation in the Lord, to keep the commandments of God. Right? To know who your God is, to know who you are, where you come from, what language you used to speak. Keep reading.
His eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom.
And toward who?
And toward the wife of his bosom.
Right, the Israelite man, they would be known for having an evil eye even towards their women.
Right.
So when we get women, when we treat our women like the so-called Arabic man treats his woman, like a prize and a trophy, and that they're sacred and that they're holy and set apart, or do we treat our women like eye candy, right? We don't care what they dress, how they act, right? But we might prostitute them. You might, hit it and quit it, right? You might, God knows what. You might knock her up. She got a baby. You don't raise a baby, right? So a lot of things that we do with our women that's not right? We have an evil eye even towards our women. Let's read on.
And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
Which he shall what?
Which he shall lead.
Right, the remnant of his children, which he shall lead. Meaning the Israelite man will also be known for leaving his children. What does that sound like, brothers?
You know, it sounds like the minority community.
Sounds like us, right? So God said he's only going to punish one nation of people for not keeping his commandments. And these curses, they're a sign and a wonder. Meaning that's a sign, an identifier of who the chosen people are today. Why? Because go to verse 37. We're going to show you why. Go to verse 37.
Verse 37.
You know.
And it reads, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword.
And then what?
And a byword. Among all the nations.
Among who?
Among all the nations.
So you're a proverb, you're an astonishment, and you're a byword. So a byword for an Israelite is like calling you black. A byword for an Israelite is like calling you Hispanic, Native American, right? Void of light, a spit, a nigga. Whatever these names and these labels that they placed on us, these are the bywords. So in order for us to reveal to you who you are, we got to tear down these bywords. Right. We got to tear down these lies and these strongholds that they gave you,
right,
and show you that through the curses, these identify who you are.
Right.
Because you're being punished, you and your people. And not just about you. We have some brothers come up here and say, I'm not cursed, right? But they never read all the curses.
Right.
Or at least one of these curses is going to fit you. And I guarantee you it's more than one.
Right.
We really break it down and go into it. You're not just experiencing it, you're going through it. You might see somebody else going through it, right? These are the curses on God's chosen people who are weak. What are they called, though?
American blacks.
Well, what did God call us? That's what the white man called us. Right? Judah, that's a tribe. Israelites.
That's right.
There you go. Yeah, so we come from the nation of Israel. That's the nation that we come from. That's your history, right? This nation, it comes with a heritage, right? Give me the book of Sirach, chapter 17, verse 11, and bring this up.
Romans chapter 7 and verse 21. If I find then a law that went...
That ain't what I called. You good, King. Right, bring this up.
Sirach 17 and verse 11. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life.
And the what?
And the law of life.
So beside this, he gave us knowledge and he gave us the laws of God, right? Which is also called the laws of life. Right? These are the instructions, or what did they say Bible stands for? Basic instructions before leaving earth, right? These are the basic instructions for life, right? Read on.
Of the law of life for inheritance.
For what?
For inheritance.
For religion.
For inheritance.
For philosophy.
For inheritance.
Right, this is our heritage, right? God never gave his chosen people religion, right? He didn't give us a philosophy. He didn't give us, whatever they call their ways of life, right? That they call here in America. What is a heritage, right? You know what a heritage is, brother? Joshua.
I gotta stop trolling.
That's okay. That's why we up here teaching, right? We're up here to teach, right? So a heritage, it comes with a land, language, and customs, right? Meaning that you have a land that you're appointed to, a language you used to speak, and customs that go along with your people, right? The so-called Chinese man, he has his language, he has his heritage, right? He has his customs, his ancient garments, the day of the dragon, the day of the snail, whatever those animals they worship, right? And these are false gods.
Right.
And they keep their heritage.
Right.
Although they're false gods, they still believe in them.
Right.
Yeah, we have the true God, and we're not serving him. Right? So go ahead and read on.
Verse 12. He made an everlasting covenant with them.
He what?
He made an everlasting covenant with them and shewed them his judgments.
Right. And he shewed us the judgments. What are the judgments? The curses, man. These are the punishments. These are the judgments that you receive for not keeping God's commandments. You have to know who your God is. You know what pleases him, you know what displeases him. Because if you know what makes him angry, what makes him upset, right, you're gonna know how to abstain from those things. And also on the other hand, if you know how to please your God, right, you know how to serve your God, what are you gonna receive? Like we talked about earlier, you're gonna receive a blessing or a curse. Right? You get the blessings. So that's what we're looking forward to. Go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, right? We only read 3 curses. We're gonna be cursing the city, curse in the field, that fits the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
Right? We're going to have an evil eye towards our brothers. We're going to have an evil eye towards our sisters. We're going to have an evil eye towards our children.
Right.
We're going to have single fathers in the household.
Right.
We're going to have single mothers in the household. Right? And not only that, we're going to be called bywords, proverbs, names that was never even ours. Right? That was never given by God. This is what your slave masters gave you. So go to verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Right, the Lord say this is another curse, the last curse, that the Israelites, they would go into Egypt again. Right. Now Egypt, what were the Israelites doing in Egypt? Because Moses is kind of speaking like slang right now, right? He's kind of speaking slang. So Egypt, what is Egypt known for in the Bible? You know? Yeah, it's slavery. It's known as slavery. Even when you go into the word Egypt in the Hebrew, it's matazarian, right? Which just means double straights. When you go into that word or those words, double straights, that's like saying between a rock and a hard place. Right? It's like I'm in a bad position right now. This is a very bad circumstance or environment, right? Also known as bondage, right? Because in Egypt, the Israelites, they were slaves under Pharaoh. Right? And we were being oppressed to the death. Right? Go ahead and read on.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
So the Israelites, they were going to a place like Egypt, but this time with ships.
Right.
Now, how did the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man get to America? How did a black man enter over here on this side of the world? How'd you guys get over here? Start speaking English, start wearing American clothing, and keeping their customs, celebrating Christmas, Thanksgiving, these newly created holidays, pagan holidays. What form of transportation did you take to get over here? Your foremothers, your forefathers? The ships, right? Now, did we write the Bible? Or did God write the Bible? Right? Using his prophets, right? So these things, they came true. These things are a sign to identify who these people are, right? So now you can no longer call yourself a black man. You can no longer call yourself an African American man. You can't call yourself the names that this world has placed on you. You have to call yourself what God called you. Not because we said it, but because you fit the curses, you fit the prophecies, you fit the judgments, and you're God's chosen people. Right? The Lord chose you out of all these nations on the earth. He didn't choose that lady right there. Right? So go ahead and read on.
Of the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Meaning that the Israelites, they would be sent into slavery on slave ships, and they wouldn't see their homeland again. Now, have we seen our homeland? What is your homeland, brother? What is it? See the other. Well, Africa is a continent, so let's narrow it down because nobody from Africa says they're Africa. They say I'm Ghanaian, I'm Ethiopian. Right? What's the root word of the Israelites? The root word. If I took away the "ite" at the end, what does it say? Israel, right? Yeah, the land of Israel, right? You have somebody in that land right now, dwelling in that land. Give me the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9, right? And bring us out. Salaku, you didn't have anything? Nah, you good, King, right? So, Israel is our name. Go to the book of Tobit, chapter 1, and verse number 4, right? Show this brother who his homeland. Right? Our forefathers used to know these things.
Right.
You should be able to answer these questions like that.
Right.
If I ask any of these other nations, they know what language they speak.
Right.
They know what land they come from.
Right.
They could go back to their great-grandmother, their great-grandpa. They could go back to their homeland.
Right.
Right? Where can you go, brother, where you're going to be welcome? And you get to put on your ancient garments and speak your language and serve your God.
Right.
That looks like you.
Right.
Because the Chinese man, he got Buddha.
Right.
Right? He looked just like him. Right? Go ahead and read.
No.
Tobit chapter 1 and verse 4. And when I was in my own country,
My what?
in my own country,
My own continent.
in my own country, in the land of Israel, in the land of Israel.
So Tobit, from the tribe of Naphtali, right? The so-called Northern Kingdom tribes, the Hispanics, the Native Americans, the Seminole Indians, right? This is our forefather.
Right.
He knows what land he comes from. He said, I come from the land of Israel. That's his country.
Right.
You name the continent, right? So you see where they kind of deceived us. Because you were confident, a little bit confident in that, right? It started off with African American, black, right? Africa, right? But none of these things, it doesn't narrow down to who you actually are. These are very broad terms that they place on you to confuse you, right? So they made you think that you have your own heritage, right? When you actually do, but they don't want you to know that. Now bring this up.
Revelation chapter 2 and 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
And what?
And poverty.
Who's in poverty on the earth? Right? We're talking about it right now. We know who's in poverty. The Israelites are in poverty.
Right.
That's a better answer. Right. The Israelites. Not the blacks, not the Hispanics. These are really the Israelites. We don't? Because black isn't a nation, right? Neither is Hispanic a nation, right? Read on.
But thou art rich, and I know the blasphemies of them which say they are Jews.
Which what?
Which say they are Jews.
What people say they're Jews on the earth today? What people say they're Jews today? Does a so-called black man say that he's a Jew? No, you don't walk around saying he's a Jew. You don't walk around keeping God's commandments. What people walk around saying, I'm a Jew, I'm Israeli, I'm Jewish, right? And they got the nasty curls in their hair, right? They're wearing that long, sweaty jacket they've been wearing every single day since they were 16, right? I mean, literally. Yeah, the dusty ZZs, right? They don't even got real fringes. See, you should be wearing these. Rocking these with us, right? Because this is a part of your heritage. We got our own drip, if you think about it, right? So go ahead and read on. So you got a people on the earth, they say that they're Jews, right? Read on.
And are not.
And are what?
And are not.
And are what?
And are not.
Read.
But are the synagogue of Satan. Fear.
That's plain. We gonna drop it on that. So these people are not the real Jews. There's a people that say that they're Jews, but they're not. But what are they? They're the synagogue of Satan. Right? Because why? They have deceived the entire world. Right? Give me the book of Revelation chapter 12 verse number 9. Give me the book of Revelation chapter 17 and verse number 2. Right? Give me Revelation chapter 12 first. Right? So what do we have to do now? What do we have to do? We were punished for not keeping God's commandments.
Right.
So what should we start doing as a nation? Start keeping the commandments, right? That's going to be the only way out of this situation. Right? It's not marching. It's not gathering up militia groups. Right? This may look like a militia damn near because we stand up here in unity, but we're really just coming back to our heritage. Really coming back to our nationality, to our God, to our commandments, our laws. We could govern ourselves. If we was given our own land and we had this Bible and we knew it, we'll be able to run everything. But they just want you to run it with 10 commandments in the church. Right? So go ahead and read this.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out. That old serpent.
That what?
That old serpent.
You have a serpent on the earth. It's more subtle than any man on the earth. Compare him like a serpent, you know?
The devil. And the devil.
Right? A devil is like a deceiver. Right? So you had this man who's like a serpent, more subtle than any person in the earth, than any nation in the earth. And he's not only that, he's a deceiver. Right? Who has deceived the entire world and thinking that literally the God of heaven and earth looks like this man, right? And that Jesus Christ, the most famous man on the earth, a Jew, an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, also looks like this man. Who deceived the entire earth in thinking that God loves everybody, that all nations can be saved? That's plain, right? So now you see you becoming more bold because you actually know who you are. Before you was like, man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I can say the white man up here. No, but it's the white man. The white man deceived our people. The white man lied to our people, and he's a serpent on the earth, a devil. Read on.
Reading on. And saying, which deceived the whole world.
Which what?
Which deceived the whole world.
What is white Jesus?
Which deceived the whole world. He was cast down into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Right, bring this out.
Revelation chapter 17 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
Read that again.
Revelation 17 and 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
Right, talking about America, right? The kings of this earth, right? All the nations, they're confederate, meaning they're one with America. They get down with America. Their lifestyle, their ways, their philosophies, right? That's why you have all types of nationalities and nations here. They call this place a melting pot.
Right.
You can see every nation here forsake their heritage to come live it up in Babylon. Be free. Forsake their God, forsake their heritage, forsake their homeland, and come to America, live it up, and be a Satanist, right? Be a devil along with the rest of them, right? Go ahead and read on.
And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
With the what?
With the wine of her fornication.
Right. And the whole world has been made drunk by this place. The bright lights. Look at Chicago, man. Everybody came down here to walk around and do vanity, right? To waste their life. In a country that was built off of the blood, sweat, and tears of your foremothers, your forefathers. And you got these so-called white people, they're walking around on stolen land, literally on our blood.
Right.
And they're proud to do it.
Right.
They don't feel any type of sorrow.
Right.
They don't feel like, you know what? Let's just leave them alone. Let's go back to where we came from. Actually, let's go back to where we came from. Instead of telling them to go back to where they came from. Right? How ignorant is that?
Wow.
After you rape, rob, and murder us, you get to walk around here with your children, all safe, in peace, and nobody bothers you. But not only 50 years ago, we couldn't even walk on the same sidewalk with them. We couldn't even look them in the eyes, right? But they gonna lynch us, right? They gonna beat us down somewhere. Police gonna pull us over and kill us, shoot us down, right? How long do we have to deal with this SHIT? Right? Bring us up.
Read on. Verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls.
Right. And that's America, right? Decked, precious. It looks beautiful. It looks nice, right? It looks sweet over here, read on.
Having a golden cup in her hand.
Having a what?
Having a golden cup in her hand.
Read.
Full of abominations.
Full of what?
Full of abominations.
Full of abominations. Full of things that God hates. This land, they say in God we trust. Yet God said that this land is holding a cup full of abominations. That's made everybody on the earth drunk. Everybody deceived. Even got the other nations forsaking their heritage. Coming over here. Keeping this Babylonian customs. These Egyptian customs. Right? The so-called American customs. So what do we have to do? Bring this out.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Right.
Fear God.
Do what?
Fear God.
What do we have to do?
Fear God.
Read it again.
Fear God.
Fear God. Read.
And keep his commandments.
Read it again.
And keep his commandments.
What's the Lord say?
And keep his commandments.
We have to do what?
2 minutes.
Why? Read on.
For this is the whole duty of man.
That's the whole duty of man. Right? Well, there you go. That's the second to last verse, if I'm not mistaken, in the book of Ecclesiastes. The second to last verse in the 12th chapter. Telling you what your purpose is. Telling you why you were even created. Sitting around, why am I created, man? What's my purpose? What is life? We sit around, what is life, right? But life is to keep the commandments. Right? Give me the book of Proverbs chapter 12 and verse number 28. Life is to keep the commandments, right? When we don't keep these commandments, remember what happens to us, the curses, the punishments, the judgments of God. And that's only right. That's only right for God to punish his chosen people, right? For not obeying him, because he chose us. Just like you're not going to punish somebody else's kids, you're going to punish your kids. Because they came from you, that's your seed. Remember, O ye seed of Israel, his servants, his chosen ones. We're the servants and the chosen ones of the Most High God, right? Now go ahead and read this.
Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 28. And the way of righteousness is life.
And the what?
And the way of righteousness is life.
The way of righteousness, right? Righteousness is to keep the laws, the statutes, the commandments. That's what makes you righteous. Because anybody could say I'm righteous. Anybody could say this or that. I could say I'm a millionaire, but I really have $0 in my pocket, right? Anybody can say anything, right? But your actions, you gotta have the proof in the pudding, right? So go ahead and read on.
And in the pathway thereof is no death.
Is no what?
Is no death.
Right, in the pathway, if you walk in the path of the Lord, if you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, you will not die. You will not experience death. Right? Give me the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 56. And give me the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse number 4. Right? Let's bring it out.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse number 56.
Start at verse number 55.
Verse 55, and it reads. 1 Corinthians chapter
Bring it up.
15 and verse 55. Oh death, where is thy sting?
Read it again.
Oh death, where is thy sting?
Oh, death, where is thy sting?
Right.
That's how confident you gotta be, right? When you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, what could come up against you? What could separate you from the Most High God? Right? Read on.
Oh grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin.
The what?
The sting of death is sin.
Read it again.
The sting of death is sin.
The sting of death is sin. You're gonna experience death every time you sin.
Every time.
You're dying spiritually, right? Give me the book of Luke chapter 17 and verse number 37, and you bring this out.
1 John chapter 3 verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin,
So what?
whosoever committeth sin,
Whoever sins, whoever commits any sin, read on.
transgresseth also the law.
Does what?
Transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
Right. Sin is the transgression of God's laws. Meaning sin is the breaking of God's laws. Anytime that you break God's laws, you're sinning. Right? So give me the book of Mark chapter 1 verse 15 and bring this out.
Luke 17 and verse 37. And they answered and said unto him, Well, Lord. And he said unto them, Wherefore the body is, whither will the eagles be gathered together?
Right, wherever the dead body is, thither the eagles are going to be gathered together. When you have a dead carcass, it attracts birds, fowls of the air, bugs, right, maggots, all these filthy things. Read on. Right? So wherever the body is, that's where the eagles are going to be gathered. Those eagles, they represent spirits, demons, right? They're enemies that surround you. So when you're in sin and you're dead spiritually, what's going to be around you? Demons, spirits. Your enemies are going to come past you and overtake you, right? So the sting of death is sin. You don't want to sin. You don't want to break God's laws because that's going to bring forth death upon our people.
Right.
Right? So this is what we got to do. And the next brother who comes up here, you're going to show you at least 3 to 4 commandments that you can start keeping today.
Right.
These commandments aren't grievous.
Right.
Meaning they're not difficult.
Right.
They're not going to burden you.
Right.
You don't got to be LeBron James to do this.
Right.
You just got to be a child of the Most High God. You got to be an Israelite. Let's bring this out.
Mark chapter 1 verse 15 is saying the time is fulfilled. The what? The time is fulfilled.
Read it again.
The time is fulfilled.
Right, the time is fulfilled. Read on.
And the kingdom of God is at hand. Repent ye and believe the gospel.
What do we have to do?
Repent ye and believe the gospel.
Continue in sin.
Repent ye and believe the gospel.
Continue to go forth to death.
Repent ye and believe the gospel.
Repent ye and believe in the gospel, which is that repentance, salvation, and forgiveness of sins is only for the Israelites. Right? So the next brother, he's going to come up here and show you how to serve God according to his will. Show you the commandments. Show you what you lost. Right? And with that, we want to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Kum Yashalom. Kum Yashalom. Kum Yashalom.